So let's start with understanding the .NET. So my name is Shalin Chauhan. I'm Microsoft MVP, technical consultant and corporate trainer. I'm having more than 12 years of experience. I have delivered so many training in corporate like IBM, TCS, Wipro, even in Microsoft as well. I have written more than 500 articles on various latest technologies like Microsoft Azure, ASP.NET Core, Angular, React.js, C Sharp, SQL Server. Even at the .NETX.com, you will find out so many video courses are there. So maximum of them I have recorded over there. So this is about me in brief. Let me clear you guys here. This training is not about the technical things. I will cover here the other aspect as well, which I feel are very important to be productive in your job. Because nowadays what is happening, the people are doing from work from home. So they are not able to balance the professional life and their personal life. So I will share those tips as well. Don't worry. So this session would not be only technical session. This session also will help you how you can be more productive, how you can utilize your time, how you can utilize your energy to complete your task in a decided timeline. Got it? So let's get started with the .NET. So today's session you will find out it's more theoretical. The reason is here I'm starting from zero because I'm assuming you don't know the .NET so many things which I feel are necessary to know before proceeding to the .NET Core. And make sure everyone having the notepad with you. Do you have the notepad? So that you can take your notes. So let me tell you here how we will start in this session. It's not the case, let's say, I'm just teaching here and you are just watching it just like a movie. No, there would not be the session like this way. So what you need to do here, you have to just note down your learning points here. What are the things we are discussing here? You have to make your short notes. And before ending the session, I will ask your learning. Everyone has to share his or her learning on the daily basis before wrapping the session. And everyone learning would be the unique learning. It's not the case all the 20 people are sharing the same learnings. No. So everyone has to speak. Everyone has to share his learning or her learning with me, with the others people. So make sure you're taking the notes properly. Don't watch this session as you're watching the movie, because it's not a for entertainment purpose. It's for understanding. It's a complete intellectual class. It's not a entertainment class. So be present here. I will give you the break as well. Don't worry. We will not have the continuous 4-hour session. In between, after 2 hours, I will give you the 10 to 15 minutes break. Is it fine? Do you have any query regarding the schedule, regarding the plan? If you don't have the notepad, please find out the notepad, your pen as well, and start taking your notes. Can you confirm through the chat how many people having the notepad with you? Please quickly confirm. Okay, very good. Everyone is having. And guys, one more thing, if you are stucking somewhere while doing the hands-on, because it's a hands-on training, please stop me at the same point and ask to me. I will allow you to share the screen. And at the same time, we will fix the error. Don't keep quiet if you are facing any error while implementing the solution. So whatever the things I will do here, you have to also do at your machine. Okay. So make sure Everyone having the Visual Studio 2019. Can you check your software, please? At your machine, you having the SQL Server access. Please do confirm you having these software on a local machine. I hope everyone having these software. I'm right. Visual Studio, SQL Server. So make sure everyone having these two software at least. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's go ahead with the understanding the .NET framework and the .NET fundamentals over there. So I will not cover all the things of the .NET basics. I will just tell you about the .NET framework history so that you having the idea. Then quickly we will proceed to the ASP.NET Core. Okay, so if you're looking at here, what you should have at your local machine, make sure everyone having the Visual Studio. VS Code you can also use if you're willing to use uh, the Linux or Ubuntu. From there you can use the VS Code. Obviously need to have the .NET SDK. So .NET SDK, we are using here .NET 5. So make sure you're having the .NET 5 SDK over there. So with Visual Studio 19, I'm sure you having that Visual Studios, you'll be having the .NET 5 SDK as well. Okay, if you're looking at the history of the .NET platform, so .NET initially came in 2002. So this is the year where .NET has been started. And later on in 2004, one new version of .NET has been introduced, Mono, because the initial version of .NET was compatible with Windows machine. It can now run on Linux and other operating system. So that time the Mono 1.0 was introduced, which was capable to run on Linux based system. Then we having .NET 5, .NET 3.5, .NET 4.0, .NET 4.5. So till .NET 4.5, the .NET you can run only on Windows machine if you are excluding the Mono, because Mono was the different version of .NET that was designed to run on Linux. Then in 2016, we having the .NET Core. So it was designed to run in the cross-platform environment. So whether you are having the Linux, Mac, Ubuntu, or Windows, everywhere you can run the .NET Core. And if you're looking at the .NET Core latest release, so latest release we having here .NET 5, which was released last year, and .NET 6 is on the way. So .NET 6 they're going to release in November. Even they announce already every year in November you will have a new version of .NET. So this year they're releasing the .NET 6. Next year they will release the .NET 7. Then you will have .NET 8, .NET 9. So every year they will provide a new version of .NET. So this is a brief history of the .NET platform you should be aware of. So if you're looking at here, we having here three different versions of .NET. .NET Framework that we call here .NET Framework 4.5. I hope right now you're working on the .NET Framework 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, or 4.8. So .NET which is coming under the family .NET Framework 4.x that is only designed to run on Windows machine. We having the Mono, so Mono is here to run the .NET on the mobile devices. If you heard about the Xamarin, how many people know about here Xamarin? Do you know about the Xamarin? Have you heard about the Xamarin? Anyone? Okay. So Xamarin is a framework to build in the cross-platform mobile application. So if you're willing to build a cross-platform mobile application for Android, iOS, and Windows, so there we use Xamarin. Xamarin is based upon the Mono. Is it clear? When it is coming to the .NET Core, so .NET Core, they rewrite from the scratch. So what are the issues we having the .NET Framework 4.5? They just overcome here. They started with .NET Core. It's a complete new framework that can be done in the cross-platform environment. Okay, now let's quickly go through the other stuff as well, so that you having a brush up. I'm just going to give you the brush up about the .NET. So when it is coming to the .NET, so we having the .NET framework that is designed to run on Windows, and the latest release is here 4.8. This is the latest version of .NET framework. And after the 4.8, you will not have any new release of the .NET framework. Microsoft already announced 4.8 is the last release of .NET framework 4.x. Then we having here .NET Core, which we are going to learn in this training program. So .NET Core is modular and a smaller implementation of .NET. It is cross-platform and open source, which can run on Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, Mac. It is having a support for containers as well. Have you heard about the Docker and the Kubernetes? How many people heard about the Docker and the Kubernetes? These are the containers platform. So if you're willing to build the application using the Docker and the Kubernetes, their .NET Core can help you. Or I can say the .NET Core base application, we can run on Linux container, we can run it with the Kubernetes as well. So this is the container support it is having. Then we having here microservices architecture. If you're planning to use the microservices architecture with your next application, so with the help of .NET Core, you can easily implement it, because the .NET Core we can run on the Linux environment. And when it is coming to the microservices hosting, there we use the containers. So we'll find out the .NET Core is designed in such a way it support easily the microservices architecture. Then we having here, it is optimized for the performance and the scalability. Do you know the reason why the people are adopting the .NET Core? The reason is here, it is very, very good in the performance and it is scalable. If you're comparing the performance of .NET Core with the existing .NET framework, there is a huge gap. The gap is very, very huge. I will tell you those numbers. What is the difference here? So that's why if you're willing to use, if you're willing to take the benefit of .NET Core performance into your existing application, go ahead with the .NET Core. Even it support the cross-platform development tools as well. So let's say if you're willing to use those tools which can be used on Windows, Mac, Linux, everywhere. So there are two tools are available, VS Code and the .NET CLI. So VS Code and the .NET CLI are the tools which you can use on each machine, whether it's a Windows machine, whether it's a Mac machine, whether it's a Ubuntu machine. Using only these two tools, you can build any .NET Core application, whether it's a web application, whether it's a mobile application. Sorry, mobile application support right now we don't have, but they are adding desktop application. So desktop and web application support we have right now. So do you have any query so far regarding the .NET and .NET Core? Anyone?
Yes, Salendra, I have two questions.
Hmm.
First thing I want to know about the what a container. What is the container? How it is work? Okay. Second question is that you just mentioned either microservice architecture supporting in .NET Core. So my question is that .NET framework is not supported microservices.
No, I didn't say .NET framework you cannot use with containers, you cannot use with microservices. There also you can use both the things. But here you will get the better support as compared to .NET framework. Containers and microservices you can use with your older application as well. But there are limitation are when it is coming to the containers, So .NET Framework 4.x based application you can run only as a Windows container. We cannot use their Linux container because containers are two types, Windows and Linux. In .NET Core, we can use Windows as well as Linux container. Got it?
Okay, but what is the extra things in the .NET Core, but that is not available in the .NET framework?
The second thing is you will find out the .NET Core performance is very good as compared to .NET Framework. Let's understand with the example. Let's say you having a ASP.NET 4.6 application, and that application, let's say serving one request in 1 second. Okay, but the same thing when it is coming to the .NET Core. So .NET Core can serve 2300 requests in 1 second. So .NET Framework 4.x is serving one request in 1 second, but .NET Core is serving 2300 requests in 1 second. So it's a
Okay.
huge gap.
Okay, man, what are the architecture behind it? So .NET Core architecture received the more request within a second and within the minimum time, but in .NET has no like such architecture to receive that such type of request.
The thing is .NET started in 2000. Got it? From the 2000, the Microsoft is working on the .NET framework, and continuously they just, you know, integrating the language support. So many things they start adding over there. They don't make it modular. The .NET Core is faster. The reason is that they made it as in with the modular approach. Means what are the things you don't require, they have not added by default. Let's take the example of .NET Framework. You are not using the VB
Yes.
language. You are not using the session over there. Still, they're having the support by default in the framework. They're having the support for the app sharp language. Got it? In .NET Core, if you're willing to use session, if you're willing to use the VB separately, you have to download a NuGet package. You have to enable the support. By default, nothing is enabled in .NET Core. It is a plain, but in .NET Framework, by default, everything is enabled.
Okay, okay. That means you are saying what are the component available in the .NET framework that is already by default is loaded in the application, but .NET Core there is an whatever the requirement, then we just added in .NET Core only those component who are the required, then it will be run in application, right?
Right, right. This
Okay.
thing is making it faster than the existing one.
That means when you are designing the like architecture, so at that time you have to decide the which are component used in the .NET Core, right?
Yeah, whenever you are working on the .NET Core application, that time you will decide which feature of .NET Core you are willing to use. Based upon the features, the pipeline will be decided. Based upon the feature, the NuGet would be added. By
Okay.
default, nothing is added over there like to the .NET framework.
Okay.
Any other queries do we have here? Anyone else?
Yeah, you are saying that Microsoft architecture support. That means like RabbitMQ, that messaging, this one, right?
No, RabbitMQ is not having the dependency on .NET Core. RabbitMQ can configure separately.
Okay.
Microservices architecture support means here you can follow the microservices architecture in well way. I'm not saying here you cannot use microservices architecture with web form or .NET Framework 4.x. There also you can use because microservices does not have any dependency on a framework. It's a architecture level pattern, so anywhere it can be implemented. But when it is coming to the performance, when it is coming to the flexibility in terms of hosting, in terms of targeting the different platform, because you might target the Linux for the hosting.
Okay.
With ASP.NET, it's not possible, but .NET Core is possible. Got it?
Got it.
So whatever the things are available in microservices, all of them can be implemented with .NET Core. But in .NET Framework, few of them you can implement, few of them you not. Got it?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Hello.
Hmm.
The point optimized for high performance and scalability means apart from this component and selective components, is there anything to be optimized or for high performance?
Optimize for high performance means they actually write the .NET Core code from scratch. It is the same thing. You started a project in Visual Basic 10 years back. Okay. So that project is running fine. But today you planning to start with WPF. Got it? So you will start from the scratch. So whatever the issues we having with the Visual Basic now, you will not, you will resolve in the WPF. So what are the challenges we having over there? Here now we don't have any challenge. It is the same thing. In 2000, they having the different mindset to building the product. Now they having the different mindset. Now they are focusing on the performance. That time they were focusing on how we can include so many features, how we can add the support for different languages. Got it? So that time vision were different to introduce the .NET. This time the vision is different. So that vision is actually changing the things. It is happen with every product, isn't it?
Yes.
Anything else? Okay. I hope we are good to go ahead. Do we have any other query? Can you confirm through the chat? Okay. Now let's have a look at the Mono as well. I hope you didn't heard about the Mono. So Mono is a cross-platform open source implementation of Microsoft .NET framework, and it is based upon the ECMA standard, which defined for the C# and the common CLR language. The benefit of Mono is it can run on Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. So this was the Mono, which used by the Xamarin for building the cross-platform mobile application. Even using the same concept, Microsoft designed the .NET Core so that it can run on different platform. It will not only limited to the Windows machine. Okay, so now let's have a look at the .NET 5, because today we having the .NET 5. So how they design the .NET 5? So .NET 5 they designed by keeping in mind one .NET vision, because before the .NET 5 we having the three different version of .NET: .NET Framework 4.x, Mono, and .NET Core. So instead of having and maintaining three different projects for .NET by the Microsoft, now they combine together. They made a unified tool chain. They made a single SDK. Instead of having the three different SDK, one for .NET Framework 4.x, another for .NET Core, and another for Mono, they just unified everything into one framework, and they called it now .NET only. So what are the best thing we having in .NET Framework 4.x? What are the best thing we having in .NET Core? What are the best thing we having in Mono? They are the part of now .NET 5. So now .NET 5 is a one framework to rule everywhere. Means using the .NET 5 you can build cross-platform native UI. Native UI means mobile application you can build. Even desktop application you can also build. Web application you can build in the cross-platform environment. Now you are not only limited to the Windows machine. They having the cloud native investment. So nowadays what is happening, everywhere the people are using the cloud. They are using the AWS, they're using the Azure. So do we have our application which are designed to take the complete feature benefit of cloud? So they constantly working on the .NET Core so that what are the new feature they're introducing with Azure, you can easily implement, you can easily use with the .NET. So continuously the Microsoft is working on the speed. They are working on size so that they can reduce the size as well of the .NET frame. So this is the way how the .NET 5 comes into the market. So now you don't need to refer 3 different versions of .NET to build any type of application. You have to just learn the .NET 5 and build any type of application, whether it's a mobile application, whether it's a desktop application, or whether it's a web application, whether it's an IoT based application, machine learning and AI, any type of application can be built using the .NET 5 now. Do you have any query regarding this one? I shall be go ahead. So good to go ahead. Okay, if you are comparing the .NET Core performance with others competitors available in the market, you will find out there is a huge gap between the .NET Core performance and others competitors performance. So before the .NET Core or the Java servlet was the fastest framework over the planet, but now .NET Core is the fastest one. I hope it makes sense now. So whatever the project you having in the older version of .NET, you should start thinking to migrate them in .NET 5 or in .NET 6 so that you can take the benefit of .NET 5 or you can say .NET Core performance. Even I will tell you my personal experience as well. The .NETX.com, we started with ASP.NET Web Form 4.5. Later on, we migrated it to the MVC 3, then MVC 4, then MVC 5. Now we migrated to the ASP.NET Core 5. So now when we migrated the .NETX.com from ASP.NET MVC 5 to ASP.NET Core 5, there is a huge difference I feel in the performance. Even in the hosting also we are able to save the money, because with the MVC 5, the hosting we are paying on the monthly basis around 20,000 rupee. But now after migrating to the ASP.NET Core 5, on monthly basis we are paying around 14,000 rupee. This is also a reduction in the running cost of the application in the cloud as well, because in the cloud you have to pay for the bandwidth as well. Do you know about this? So bandwidth size has been reduced a lot, and that is actually helping us to reduce the running cost over there. Even the request size also reduced. Now website is responding in less time. So overall, it's a good experience after migrating the things with the ASP.NET Core 5. Now we don't have any drop in the user, because with the MVC 5 we having the issue. It sometime go down, but such issues now we are not facing. This is my personal experience with .NETX.com telling you with you. So it's the similar thing you having with Stack Overflow as well. Do you know the Stack Overflow is using the .NET Core? How many people are aware of this concept? Because you might be thinking, do we have any other website who are using the .NET Core? Stack Overflow, Bing.com, your Microsoft website, they are running with .NET Core now. And after migrating to after migrating to .NET Core, they find a lot of difference. Even they find the the reduction in the CPU uses, because with older version of .NET, there is a high CPU uses. But now after the migrating to .NET Core, the Stack Overflow, the Bing.com, even the .NETX.com, we find out the less CPU uses, and performance wise are so good. Is it clear? Shall we go ahead now? Or do you have any query?
Proceed.
So now the thing is, before actually .NET 5, if somebody required to share the code, because sometime it happens, we having an older application, and now we are going to start a new module into the existing application with the .NET Core. So shall we start? And even do we have any way for sharing the code? Yeah, we having a way for sharing the code. So you need to just use here .NET standard library. So .NET standard library you can use if you're willing to share the code between your .NET Framework 4.x, between your .NET Core 3.1 and your Xamarin based application. Using the .NET standard, the code sharing can be done. So code sharing means your business logic, your data access logic, your domain models, such thing we can share after migrating our business layer, data access layer code to .NET standard. But after the introduction of .NET 5, you don't need to worry about these things, because now .NET 5 is sufficient to build any type of application, whether you're building a WPF, whether you're building the iOS, Android application, all the type of application can be built using .NET 5 now. This is before .NET 5. So do you have any query regarding this one? Shall we go ahead? So I hope now you having the understanding about the .NET 5 and the .NET Core, even how we can reuse our existing application code. If you having a plan, let's say we having an older application, but the new module we start with the .NET Core. But if you are having in mind, let's say how we can share the code, so this option is available. Even the .NET standard also supported in .NET 5 also, don't worry. So in .NET 5 also we can use .NET standard for sharing your older application, business logic and data access logic with your new .NET 5 application or with your new .NET 6 application. Is it fine?
Is the UWP stands for Universal?
Yeah, Universal Windows Platform. So let's do a sample here to understand it more clearly. Then we proceed to the next topic. So make sure you have open your Visual Studio. Open your Visual Studio. And here I'm just going to create a project. Let's create a project here. Make sure you have opened the Visual Studio and you are following to me. If somebody is lacking, please do let me know. If you can use the dual monitor, that is very good. Because in one monitor, you can see what I'm doing. In another monitor, you can do the hands-on. If you don't have the dual monitor, just divide your screen into two sections. In the one section, just put your Zoom window open. In the half session, just do the practice. If you will do minimize, maximize, so it will take more time. So better way is here, just divide your
How will
screen
divide the
into two
window?
sections. Do you have any query?
How will divide the window into section?
It's just application one. Let's say we having this one. So you can see this is the Zoom application. You can write like this way.
Okay.
Got it? Then in the hub, you can make the Visual Studio this way only. Got it?
Recording in progress.
Anything else? Shall we go ahead now? If we can use the dual monitor, that is very good, because you will have the wide space for doing the hands-on, for looking at what I'm doing here. If you don't have, don't worry, just divide the screen to two sections like this way. In the right hand side, you can open my Zoom window, and the left hand side, you can open your Visual Studio. Shall we go ahead now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I don't need to divide the screen. Otherwise you will see more smaller font. Okay. So here we having the option. Let's make a search here for MVC. So when you will search for the MVC, you will get here your ASP.NET web application using .NET framework. Are you getting this template in your Visual Studio? Guys, make sure you're active on the chat so that you keep informing to me. And if somebody is lacking, please do let me know. Please don't sit quiet, because before wrapping the session, I will ask the question to you. And I can check your screen as well any moment. So make sure you are doing the practice. So don't think I'm not watching to you. Okay. Can you confirm, guys? Have you opened this one? Are you on the same screen? I'm
Yes,
waiting
yes.
for you.
Yes. Yes.
Mandeshwari, have you opened it? Because you said please wait. Okay. Please open it and do let me know. I'm waiting for. Ananda Prasad, can you confirm? Okay. So I hope everyone on the same screen. So make sure you have to select here template ASP.NET web application template. And guys, here you will find out the two templates. The one template is here ASP.NET web application template. You will get it here. Oh, hold on. Guys, can you mute yourself, please? Okay, so we'll get here two templates. This is the one template over here. ASP.NET web application using .NET framework. Another you will get here ASP.NET core web application using the MVC. So you have to just select here to this one. Later on, we will select this one also. So first we are starting with this ASP.NET web application using the .NET framework. Later on, we will start with ASP.NET core MVC one. Got it? So let's select this template, then go to the next button. Now define your project name. So project name is here, let's say ASP.NET 5 is my project name. Then define the location. So the location, let's say I'm defining here your company name. So this is the training and your company name is CSM. Okay, let me define anywhere, not here. Let's say CSM. So I just selected this folder and this is my project name. And here I'm targeting here .NET framework. Which version you're getting here, guys? Can you confirm? Are you getting the 4.8 here?
4.7.
4.7. Okay, just select here 4.7. If you're okay, that's fine. If you're getting here 4.7.2, so do select 4.7.2. Don't select 4.5 because we need to share the code between the ASP.NET MVC 5 and between the ASP.NET Core 5. So make sure you have updated it to the 4.7. 7.2. Now let me click on the create button. And here you will get the template for MVC 5. So you can see it is my MVC 5. I have selected here my MVC. This is MV selected. This is the MVC template. Now do click on the create button. Are you getting the same option in your site? So now let's click on the create button. Shall we go ahead now?
1 minute, please. Please wait.
So what template you have choose?
I'm selecting here MVC template.
Yes. Creating a new ASP.NET web application. There is a empty web form and MVC. Choose the MVC.
You have to select here MVC one.
Okay.
So template I'm highlighting here. Just look at the my screen. I'm highlighting the template. Guys, please mute yourself. Have you selected the same template?
Yes, it is creating the project.
Okay, let's click on the create button. So what it will do here, it will create here ASP.NET MVC 5 application. So do you know MVC 5? How many people know here MVC 5? Can you confirm through the chat window? Like I know MVC 5. Do we have someone in the session who know the MVC 5? We don't have. Okay, not an issue. That's good. If you don't know, because you will not compare it with the .NET Core, because if somebody know the MVC 5, he start comparing. So this is my MVC 5 application. So don't worry, I'm not covering here if you don't know it. It's so this is the controller we having here, and this is the it's a simple web application. Now let's say this MVC 5 application you built here. Now it's containing a dull layer. Let's say it's containing here a bell layer. So let's talk about it's containing here a class library. I'm looking for a project class library. Are you getting here class library option here? Yeah, tell me, are you getting the class library?
ଅଛି ନା ମାନେ ପରେ କଥା ହେବି ଟିକେ ସେ ବତଉଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିପାରୁନି।
Guys, are you selecting the class library here? So this is the class library where you will find out .NET Standard and .NET Core. If you will find out this is a mention here, target, .NET Core and .NET Standard. So make sure you are targeting it with .NET Standard. I'm targeting it with .NET Standard. And now let's say it is a my library. Let's say my live. And target framework, you can use a .NET Standard. Are you getting .NET Standard here 2.0?
Sir, can you please do it one more time?
I
From class
selected
library.
here class library where
Means
you
what?
will find out the .NET Core and .NET Standard. If you will look at this library I selected. Where I'm having
Again, I have to add a new project, or in that new project, where to
And-
select class library.
into the existing project we need to add it. What I'm doing here, I'm just did right click at the solution. This is my solution.
Okay.
Then you will get here add new project.
Okay.
So into your existing solution, you need to add here the class library. Class library. This way I'm selecting. Anyone else left? Is it clear now from where we are adding?
Sir, I have a query, sir.
Hmm.
So whenever I have selected this ASP.NET Web application, it's not showing C#. It is showing Visual Basic Window, Cloud, and Web.
So here from the drop down, you can select the C#. There is no show. Are you getting the drop down list here?
All language.
Just select here C# only,
Okay.
not the whole language. Here you can select the Windows only.
Okay. Then I have to select ASP.NET Core Web. Sorry.
Class
Yes.
library .NET Standard or class library .NET Framework.
No. ASP.NET Core Web App, sir.
Web application have you added or you are adding it?
From the beginning, I'm going.
So you have to add ASP.NET web application.
ASP.NET Core Web App.
Not
Right.
core, simple ASP.NET web application. You will get this template if you will search here for MVC. This template you will get ASP.NET web application .NET framework. Are you getting this template?
ASP.NET Web Application.
Anyone else left from the beginning? No, just add it as a MVC. So we adding here the class library. So I'm just looking for class library here this way. So I'm defining my library name, let's say mylib. Next. And I'm not targeting here .NET 5. I will target here .NET Standard 2.0 because the example I'm just going to show you here of .NET Standard library. Like how the .NET Standard library can be used for sharing the data with older ASP.NET MVC 5 and the newer ASP.NET Core 5. That sample we are building. Credit.
Actually, actually class library mentioning .NET Standard, class library Universal Window. Which library will choose?
.NET Standard 1.
Class library .NET Standard.
Then in that window there is no version to choose.
Only project name is showing.
Only project name and location.
Version will come on the next window.
Next. In class library, what could be the target framework? Is it .NET
.NET
5.0?
Standard 2.0. When you're getting the target framework 5.0, please change it to the .NET Standard 2.0.
2.0. Okay.
The framework will be .NET Standard. For mine, the class library is coming is 5.0.
So that change it from the drop down list. There you will find out .NET Standard
2.0.
2.0. Yeah.
When I create the project with library, not asking you to choose any framework.
I'm sure it asks. You didn't.
No, it is not asking.
Not asking.
So what option you selected? .NET Standard, .NET Core Library, something
.NET
else.
Standard.
Class library .NET Standard.
So that's fine. If you didn't ask, if it is only .NET Standard library, that's fine. I think you're having the older version of Visual Studio.
Hello. I'm just a bit delayed. Actually, my system is hanged. So now I'm creating the project. I have to select ASP.NET Core Web App, right?
ASP.NET Web Application only, not the Core Web App.
There is a screen for Web Application, and another one is ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller.
So you have to select only ASP.NET Web Application.
Okay.
So have we created the library also? If you want to check out the version number here, the library, just go to the library properties and you will find out the target framework is here .NET Standard. Are you getting your library target framework as 2.0?
Yes, .NET Standard 2.0.
If you're not getting from here, also can change it. Are you getting it this way?
Yes.
What about others? Guys, can you confirm from your end? Okay, that's fine. So now what we can do here in this library project, I'm just adding here a class. Let's say I'm adding a class for user, and a user class, we adding here a property. I'm adding here a property for user ID. I'm adding here a property for, let's say, a username this way. And this is my user class I added here. Now this user class I can share with you. I'm sharing this user class in the chat window. From there, you can use it. Code I will keep sharing through the chat so that we can do the hands-on quickly. So we added the user class here like this way. Now this user class, I hope you have created. I'm right. Have you created it? Can you confirm through the chat window if you have created this user class?
Yes, yes.
So good to go ahead. Okay, now you need to do here, need to just add a reference of this library into your project.
Sir, can you repeat once?
Which one?
So sir, I have to create here class library, right?
Hmm.
I have to add a class library, right?
So have you added?
Yeah, one class library added. Then I have to name the class library as my live.
Yeah, my live.
Okay. Okay, that is done. Then here it is asking .NET 5 current.
Just change it to .NET Standard.
.NET Standard.
Yeah.
.NET Standard which one? It is 2.0 is there, 2.1 is there.
2.0.
2.0. Okay. Okay. Now here I have to create. Okay. Then class level name you have changed to user, right?
Mm.
Okay. Okay, sir, got it, sir.
So now what we will do here, this my library project reference, we will add into this ASP.NET 5 project. Just do right click here and then click here, add reference. And here I'm selecting the my live. This is my live. I'm selecting here. So my live we are selecting here.
Can you go back again?
Where? User class code I shared through the chat. You can copy and use from there. Now you have to just do right click at the reference here. Then we having the option add reference. That's it. Then click here on the my live. Is it fine?
Yes.
So now just add your my live reference into your project. The same I'm adding here. So it has been added here successfully without any error. Now in the controller, especially in the home controller, that user class I can access. So user equal to new user this way. Add the namespace. That is my live. So my live namespace I added, and this is the user I'm able to add it. Similar way, you will have so many other things which you might be using in your older version. So we added it here. So it is building fine. It is working fine. There is no error here in this one. So make sure in your case also it is building fine.
Again, it is a reference. It is not showing here when adding reference.
In the reference, it is showing, I'm sure, this way.
No, during my add reference, it is not showing my lib.
And you're saying you have to go to the project one, then you will get it. Are in the project.
When we go to projects, there is no multiple options. Projects and the solutions. There is.
It's a project reference you will get in project. If it is a built-in package reference, you will get in the assembly. It's not assembly, it's a project reference. So anything else? I hope everyone built this one, hasn't it? Faguni, please do fast. Completed? Faguni, I'm asking to you, have you completed?
No.
Actually, I have created the project using VB, so I am doing again creating the project using C#.
Okay, after adding the reference, what I have to do? Can you repeat it again?
There you have to just create that user class object in your home controller index section. You can see on the screen. Are you looking at the screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Completed? Mandeshwari,
Actually,
Imani,
no. I'm not getting this some of the folders like you have created because I've gone with selected the .NET Core current. That's why I'm thinking that folders I am not getting
in
here.
.NET Core also you will have a controllers folder, and there you will find a home controller. I'm sure there is also a folder.
It is just coming like.
So in that case, you have selected the empty one if you are not getting anything.
It is showing some error. It is predefined type system.void is not defined or imported when I create the user.
So make sure user you are taking from your my library as well.
It is I am using that my library and then top.
And here the user, make sure it is public also, everything.
It's public.
Can I share my screen? Hello?
Yeah, please share.
I'm just starting from the scratch.
Are you sharing your screen? Okay.
Is it visible now? I have selected this one.
No, I didn't say it, select this one. I said select ASP.NET web application. Search for MVC only. Then you're getting here ASP.NET web application, third one.
Okay, .NET Framework. Okay. So here
Use
web form.
MVC.
This is what is the latest framework here.
4.72 is fine here. It's fine. Do we have people in this session from the some other stream, let's say testing or support? Do we have the people here in this session? We don't have everyone is from development. Also good to go ahead.
Yes, please.
So now we need to add here one more project. That project I will add here using the ASP.NET Core 5. So same way, just do right click at the solution. And here I'm just adding a new project this way. And this time the project I'm just going to add here, it is for ASP.NET Core MVC. So this way I'm adding here ASP.NET Core Web App MVC pattern I'm selecting. So make sure everyone has again.
You are adding in the same solution, right?
Right.
ASP.NET Core Web Application.
Yeah, ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller.
You are finding only ASP.NET Core application.
I'm searching for MVC, and then this template I'm getting. Have you selected this template?
So it is ASP.NET Core Web App MVC,
Yes.
right?
Sir, in your screen, in bracket, it is model view control, but in our Visual Studio, it is coming only ASP.NET Core Web Application.
MVC is not coming. Make sure you search at the top level MVC. Have you searched
Yes,
for
yes,
MVC?
yes. MVC.
It is coming. ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller.
If you're not getting the model view controller, not an issue. It
Sir,
might
your version is 2017 or 19?
I'm using 19.
I am also using 19.
In 19, make sure you're having the 16.10. Okay, not an issue. If you're not getting MVC, that's fine. You can go ahead with ASP.NET Core Web App.
ASP.NET Core Web App. Or another also coming ASP.NET Core Web App. Yeah, OFC. Okay.
Shall we go ahead now?
Yes.
So I'm just selecting this MVC. Now let's click on the next button. Now define your project name. So as the project name, I'm using, let's say ASP.NET Core 5. I'm defining my project name as here ASP.NET Core 5. Now let's click on the next button. Then it is asking me for which version you are using. So I'm
Then
using here
asking
3.1, 2.1. I'm using here 5.0.
Then we'll choose ASP.NET Core Web App.
In your case, it will ask for the template in the next window, MVC.
No, when it is asking ASP.NET Core Web App, ASP.NET Core Web App, Model View Controller.
Can you share your screen, please?
Okay. I will choose this.
Yeah, select this one. I think you're having the older version of Visual Studio. That's why you're having this option.
Then create.
So make sure, guys, you have updated your Visual Studio version as well. I'm sure some people having the older version of Visual Studio. That's why the templates are not coming same. So if you're willing to check which version of Visual Studio you're having, there is a help option. From the help, you can find out about Visual Studio. Can you check which version of Visual Studio you're having from the help and about?
Sixteen 16.8.4.
The authentication type, rest of the settings come same for me.
It is 16.4.4.
Now this is the reason. In my case, it is 16.10.
In my case, everything else is same, but the authentication type is not coming for me.
You might having the 16.9 in that case. Okay, let's first create this one. Then I will tell you here which version of Visual Studio you should have, so that tomorrow when you will come, you will have this version. So make sure everyone having the Visual Studio 16.10 version. I hope you having the older version. That's why you're facing the challenges. This is my version 16.10. This is the latest one. If you are having the 16.10, you will have exactly same option as I'm getting. But if you are having the older version of Visual Studio, you might get the different option. So for this one, it's simple here. Just you don't need too much do. There is option available here. Visual Studio installer. Are you getting Visual Studio install option when you are making search? Just update the installer. Don't do right now. Do it after finishing the today class. So that when you will come tomorrow, you will have the latest version of Visual Studio. So we'll get here the option here, update. Are you getting the update option? When you're opening the Visual Studio installer. So this update, you need to just apply. So please do it tomorrow so that when you will have in the next session, you will have exactly same thing. Otherwise it will take time to follow the things. Is it clear?
Mine is 16.10 but it is still asking for the update for 16.10.4.
Don't update if you're having the 16.10.
But then the authentication type is not coming.
I hope you're having the something else because I'm also having the 16.10 release. I'm not having 16.10.3.
I am having the same 16.10, but it is not enterprise edition, I think.
I don't think it's the issue of enterprise additional community one. You might having the different template.
Can I share my screen?
So authentication we are not using. Don't worry. If you're not getting the authentication, don't worry. We are not using that one.
Okay.
Anything else, guys? Shall we go ahead now? So not an issue. You can update it today night so that tomorrow you will have the same version. Not an issue. So what I'm doing here in the ASP.NET Core 5 also, I'm adding the reference of this my live. Just do right click here, add project reference, that is here my live. So here also I'm adding the my live reference. Are you adding the my live reference? Are you added?
Yes.
Okay, so add the my live reference into this ASP.NET Core 5 as well. And here also we can create the user class object. User class object we can create here like this way. And you will find out here my live reference I added at the top label. Now it is building perfectly without an issue. It is building now in this way.
Hello.
Tell me.
Hi, this is Trupti Ranjan. Actually, my system was actually hanged and it restarted. I have some problem. Actually, I have created that ASP.NET 5 and I am unable to create the library. Can I share the screen? Yeah. What next actually?
You have to right click at the solution label.
Yeah.
And add new project.
Okay. This one.
Search for library.
This one, I think. Class library.
Yeah, this one. Select this one. Class library.NET standard.
Okay.
Actually, we have added the .NET in core version B 5.0, but when built, it is showing error. The reference assembly for .NET Framework 5.0 is not found.
Okay. Next. I'll change. Showing some alert.
Just change it with the name user and define the user property over there. What about this?
Sorry?
I'm not asking to you, I'm asking to this. Have you completed, guys, the this people?
Yes, completed.
What are the parameters I have added? What are the properties?
Any property you can add, say simple user class I'm creating. ID, name you can keep here.
Here, actually, ASP.NET 5, I have to add reference, right? Right click, then project reference.
Just right click here and then add the project reference of my library also here and build it. In my case, it is building fine without an issue. So guys, here if you build the code now, you will find out entire solution is working fine. If someone is getting the error here, so it means it is a compatibility issue. If you're not getting the error, it's running fine. It means we able to share the code between our older MVC5 application and this newer ASP.NET Core application. So this is the way, this is the example I just shown to you of .NET Standard Library for sharing the code. Is it fine?
Is it possible to use the .NET MVC 5 class libraries in directly to the .NET Core?
Not MVC5, .NET Framework. Talk about the .NET Framework.
Yeah, .NET Framework, MVC. Which one you have?
Not MVC, .NET Framework library can be used.
Okay. No, you have created one library class, right? But my question is, if I want to use my .NET Framework class in .NET Core.
The same thing I'm saying, you can use it.
Okay. By adding the reference, right?
Shall we go ahead now?
Yes.
Okay, so if you run now the MVC5 and ASP.NET Core application separately, so we can run it here by doing the right click at the Solution Explorer, and we having the option multiple startup project. As a multiple startup project, just run the MVC5, just run here ASP.NET Core this way. So please run them here, ASP.NET Core and MVC5. Make sure you selected the multiple startup project by doing the right click at the solution in your Visual Studio. Have you selected the multiple startup project?
Yes.
After selecting the multiple startup project, now run the code.
Can you do it again, please?
Just do right click at the solution.
Yes.
Then it will just go to the properties.
Properties, okay. Properties, okay.
This
Yes.
window will open.
Yes, yes.
Now run the application, you will find out you are running the MVC core, you are running here this ASP.NET Core as well. So both are running. So this is my ASP.NET Core 5, this is my ASP.NET MVC 5.
You have to select a start for every 3 project.
Only 2. Class library you cannot run. If both projects are running fine, so code sharing has been done without any issue. So guys, here shall we go ahead now? Is it
Yes.
fine?
Yes.
No, how you run this project right now? To
just click on this run button, start.
only. Okay.
It will start both the project which you have selected there.
Okay, fine.
Framework 5.0 is not found.
It's showing something, the project configured in use SSL. SSL things it is showing. Yes, I have to press.
You have to fix it at browser level.
Would
So
you like
just,
to trust IS Express SSL certificate? Yes.
yes, you have to trust it.
Then, okay, yes.
I have clicked on apply and my application is hold.
It is applying it. Please hold on.
Actually, one application it's run only. ASP.NET Core 5.
If you have selected to run the other application as well, so make sure in the properties, both the projects are running like this one. These two projects are set as a start.
Yeah, two projects are. Yeah, two projects I have done. Okay, sorry. Okay.
So guys, are you getting the output here? I hope everyone is getting. So good to go ahead now. Madeshwari, Falguni, Jyoti.
Yes, it is running and diagnostic tool is open now. I have just running the application.
Hmm.
And it is just showing that process memory that is coming out.
No, that window, just close it. That window you don't need to look at. You have to just look at the browser. Are you getting to browser window?
No.
Can I share your screen?
ASP.NET I got. Yes, I got two windows. ASP.NET Core 5 and ASP.NET. Yes, I can share you. Just a minute.
If you're getting, that's fine. If you're not getting, then
Yes, this one is one window and this one.
that's fine. It's running fine in your case.
Yes.
Okay. So now the next thing
But
is
in the
here.
first project, ASP.NET. Hello.
Hmm.
In the first project, did it have any code there? Well, like I have added my library, then I have added the second project ASP.NET Core. And but in the first project, do you have any code there? Because I haven't done ASP.NET.
In both the project home controller, we added this line only to check whether we are able to create this user class object or not.
Okay.
And it is working fine in our case, because if there is any error, it will give us.
Okay, thank you.
The same thing I'm doing here also. User, and here also user.
Okay.
So anything else?
No.
Hello.
Hmm.
I am facing problem to run my application.
Can you say again what are you saying?
Just I am sharing my screen. Sir, have you seen it? It's my application.
Hmm. That is running. You have not accepted the certificate. Have you accepted the certificates?
Where?
So just open your age window where it is showing the error for certificate, the first two. Advance, what it is saying. Now it is running, you can see. So anything else? Shall we go ahead now?
I am facing this issue due to framework 5.0 is not available, I think.
Where you added this reference?
Yes.
I'm saying where you added this reference.
When I created ASP.NET Core.
Can you go to the dependencies? Just rebuild this and the project dependencies.
Yes, project dependency.
So there is an issue with this library. What version you are using? 2.0.3. Okay. Can you build this project only? ASP.NET Core 5. Can you go to the ASP.NET Core project properties? Target framework is not coming here. It's not. It should be .NET Core. Why it's coming .NET 5? .NET framework.
The 4.7.1.
It should come .NET Core version, not that this one. Leave it. Open here ASP.NET Core. Can you expand the ASP.NET Core project? Okay, it is having all the things. Just double click on the ASP.NET Core 5 project, double click. So here target framework is 471. That actually will not work. You need to change it .NET target framework net 5.0. Remove 471 5.0. Save it. Everything. Now build it. Can you reopen the Visual Studio? Close it and reopen. So how you created the ASP.NET Core project if you have not given the .NET framework version number? I think you don't have the .NET 5. You're having .NET Core 2.0 or like 3.0 only. Can you open the command prompt? Run here a command .NET space dash dash version dash dash version. So having 5.2. I think you need to create this project again. Delete it, create it again. There isn't some issue while creating it.
Or create again.
Yeah, delete it, create it again. So guys, shall we go ahead now? So now the next thing is here, which I'm going to tell you here. If somebody is lagging behind, please do practice it. Meanwhile, I'm covering a one more topic that is about the .NET full stack. Guys, this sample is not important. That's why I'm not putting much concentration over there. Okay. If you're not able to complete this sample, not an issue, because it's not an important sample, just for understanding purpose. Because other sample are important. So good to go ahead. Okay, so the next thing we have been here, full stack.NET. So how many people know about the full stack? What is full stack? I already shared my screen. What is full stack? So guys, when you're building any application, so for building any application, if you're looking at, we actually involved for writing the front end. There are three things you will find out here: front end, and we having here back end. This way. So when it is coming to the front end, so at the front end, what framework we use? We use JavaScript framework like Angular, or we use JavaScript library like jQuery, and we use HTML, CSS. So this is the way we design the front end. When it is coming to the back end, in the back end we use server side things. Let's say .NET we can use for backend. We can use Java for backend. We can use, let's say, Node.js for backend. Okay, so when you're combining the front end plus backend, it will become the full stack. So front end plus backend is going to combine into the full stack. So when you're saying the full stack .NET developer, it means you know the front end technology as well, how to use with .NET like Angular, React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So everything you know, because in company, what happens, we having the UI developer, we having the application developer. So application developers are those developers who know how to build the applications in .NET, but they are not good in the UI side. And UI developer are those developers who are actually good in the JavaScript, in the HTML, CSS, and jQuery. Okay, so if you're looking at here, we having two types of role. Let's say front end, or we can say the UI developer. Am I right? So these people are good for building the front end, building the front end. When it is coming to the back end, so we having your back end developer, or sometimes we say application developer. So these people are good for building the API, for building the application without using JavaScript framework or library. So they're good in .NET. If I'm taking the example of .NET, ASP.NET, they know ADO.NET, they know services. Okay, so these are the backend developer. So when you're combining the backend and front end job responsibility, it is coming to here. And if you're looking at here, we having a one more things that is about database. There is one more stack we actually having here. If you're looking for the comparison for the database, we having here SQL database. As a SQL database, it can be here SQL Server, MySQL, or Oracle. So we having the DB also, database administrator. So database administrator or database developer. So these are actually good in the database side. The database side like SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle. So these three things actually we use when we are building any application. So when a person is doing the job of front-end developer as well, when he's doing the job of back-end developer as well, when he's doing the job of SQL database developer as well, he actually become the full stack developer this way. So full stack is combining front-end, back-end, and database. So do you have any query regarding the full stack? Shall we go ahead now? So full stack developer, you can think just like a Superman. Am I right? Do you know the Superman? Shaktiman?
Yes.
The full stack developer is same. So how many people are here full stack developer are on the path of full stack developer?
I think all.
Just talk about you.
Backend and database.
Okay, you are good in backend database right now. What about others?
Yes, I am also backend and database.
Okay, so the thing is, so this is the way how the full stack roles comes into the picture. So nowadays, wherever you will go in a company, so companies actually having those developers nowadays, are they looking for those developers nowadays who actually can help them to build all the layers, all the stack in your application. whether it's a front end side, whether it's a back end side, whether it's a database side, they are expecting one developer should able to handle. So that's why the job role is now full stack .NET developer, full stack Java developer, full stack JavaScript developer, full stack Python developer. Got it? I hope it is clear now. So the benefit of the hiring the full stack developer, you will find out now they don't need to have now 3 different developer for handling the front end, for handling the back end, for handling the database. Now only one developer is able to do all the responsibility. This is a benefit you will find out of having a full stack developer. And if you're looking for some limitation, all the things, so we'll find out all the people are actually not good in the front end side and the back end side. Usually the back end developers don't feel much comfortable in the front end side. So everyone cannot having the almost similar experience in all the aspect. Obviously, everyone will have some its own strength. So few people might be good in the backend side, few people might be good in the database side as compared to the others. But ultimately nowadays you should know all these 3 stack whenever you're building any application, and it is important as per the current job requirement. Is it fine? Shall we go ahead now? So guys, let me clear here one more thing. When it is coming to the .NET, how in the .NET full stack roles is coming. So in the .NET, if you're looking for the full stack, so we having the different combination for like full stack .NET. So when we are saying the full stack .NET, it means there would be here one front end framework like Angular would be there as a front end framework. You will have, let's say, Bootstrap. You should have, let's say, jQuery. So these things you should know for the front end one when you're saying full stack .NET. So I'm listing the technology name so that you can remember it when you're going to have. For the backend one, these are the things are available for backend one. For the skill set, you need these things. Even now, we having the entity framework as well here, and ASP.NET MVC. Okay, and services, we having the web API also. These are for backend. For database, we having the SQL Server and MySQL. One of the database you should know. So this is the one combination here. If you are going to go ahead with Angular, but in place of Angular, you can use React as well. Either use Angular, either use React. And here either use ASP.NET MVC 5, either use ASP.NET Core. So now we are using here ASP.NET Core. So this is the way how the full stack .NET developers roles are coming. Is it fine? Same thing I shared through the chat window. If you want to keep with you, you can keep the same things with you. If in future you're willing to refer it, you can refer it. So do you have any query regarding the full stack developer roles and responsibility? Is it good to go ahead? Okay, so guys, let's have a 10 minutes break. At 6 o'clock on daily basis, at 6 o'clock, I will give you one break, tea break. At 6:10 exactly, I will start the session. So see you after 10 minutes. Is it fine? So when it is coming to the .NET 5, this is the way how the .NET 5 architecture is looking like. So you can see here .NET 5 can be used to build the desktop application using the WPF, using the Windows Forms, using the UWP. We can build here the application for the web using the ASP.NET. So we having here ASP.NET Core MVC. We can build the cloud-based application using the Azure. We can go ahead with Xamarin. We having here gaming using the Unity. We having here IoT-based application where you can target the ARM32 and ARM64 based machines. We can build something for machine learning and AI. So for machine learning, we having especially ML.NET. This can be used for machine learning. We having the support for Apache Spark. And these are tools are available. We having the Visual Studio. We having here Visual Studio for Mac, Visual Studio Code, and we having the CLI tool. And here the .NET 5 is still supporting the .NET standard for code sharing among all these different types of application over there. And you already know it was released in November 2020. And in 2021, we will have the .NET 6. So do you have any query regarding this one, or shall we go ahead? Is it clear? So the few things .NET 5 does not support, that information also you should have. What are these things? .NET 5 does not support the web forms, ASMX services, WCF, WWF, and link to SQL. Even they don't have any plan to support all these things, because we having the alternative for each option over there. So web form alternatives available in ASP.NET MVC. For ASMX, we having the alternative as Web API. For WCF, we having the alternative as gRPC and Web API. For link to SQL, we having the entity framework. Guys, please mute yourself. Smriti. So this is the way we having the .NET 5, which it does not support all these things. Even they don't have any plan. And when it is coming to .NET compilation now, how the .NET code is going to compile. For the compilation, you will find out if you're looking at the .NET 4.x, in the .NET 4.x, we can build a C# project, we can build a F# project, we can build a project using the VB.NET. Guys, if you're not asking your queries, please mute yourself. Smurti Ranjan, are you there?
Sir, you are the host. Please mute.
No, I muted so many times, but it's again unmuting it. If I'm muting to someone, please don't unmute yourself until you are not asking the queries. So this is the way how we can create the application using the language like App Sharp, C#, VB.NET. And that time we having the language specific compiler as well. So we having here App Sharp compiler. We having a C# compiler here. We having the VB.NET compiler. So this is the way how we compile the things in .NET Framework 4.x. This is the .NET Framework 4.x way to compile it. So ultimately we having the IL, intermediate language code, or we can say the MSIL. And here we having the framework class library that we also combine with the IL, and finally using the JIT compiler, because we having the CLR, and inside the CLR we having the JIT that is going to use this MSIL code to show the output with the alpha machine code. So this is the .NET Framework 4.x compilation we have. If you're looking at in the .NET 5, or you can say in .NET Core, We having almost same steps, but they just change here the compiler. If you're looking at here for F sharp, they having the F sharp 4.1 compiler. For C sharp and VB, they having the Roslyn. So they having a new compiler Roslyn, and Roslyn is open source compiler. They created from the scratch, and the performance wise, Roslyn is faster than the this existing one, C sharp compiler and this existing VB.NET compiler. So Roslyn here we are using for compiling a C sharp code and the VB code, and we having here finally DLL and exe that we can say it's a IL. And here also we having the core framework library, which we can combine here. And here in place of CLR, we having the core CLR. So difference is here you can find out here we having the CLR, but here we having the core CLR. So name is different here. So difference between the CLR and the core CLR, you will find out CLR you can run only on Windows machine. The core CLR can run on Windows, Mac, and Linux as well. So it is cross-platform, but it is not. Same way in place of zip compiler, we having here reuse it compiler. So it's using here reuse it compiler in place of zip. So it is a just-in-time compiler. So when it is coming to a just-in-time compiler, compilation, it is using reuse it. And finally, we having the machine code where we are showing the output. So this is the way how that code is going to compiled in .NET Core, .NET 5, .NET 6. In the left hand side, we having the code that is compiled into .NET Framework 4.x. Is it clear? Do you have any query regarding this one? Okay, so now the thing is when it is coming to the unified tool chain. So we having here .NET CLI. So .NET CLI is a cross-platform tool which is helping us to building the .NET Core based application using any framework like just like Windows, Mac, and the Linux. So this is the way the .NET CLI command are helping us to create the project. So we having a .NET new command to create either a app sharp project, to create either a C sharp project, to create either a VB.NET project. And to build the application, we having a .NET build command this way. And to restore the NuGet packages, we having a .NET restore command. And finally, to run the code, we having a .NET run command. So without using Visual Studio, you will be able to run your .NET Core application. You able to create your .NET Core application. You able to build your .NET Core application. So we don't need here Visual Studio at all if you are using the .NET CLI. Even when you are working with the containers, when you're working with the Kubernetes, over there you will find out we use a .NET CLI commonly. If later on you will explore the microservices, if later on you will explore the .NET Core, you will find out we use their .NET CLI commonly. So this is about the things, and it support the installation of packages using the commands. So if you're willing to download here a NuGet package, so NuGet package also you can download using the .NET CLI. So we having a command for that one. And obviously it is having the cross-platform support. So is it fine? Is it clear about the .NET CLI, what it is? Shall we go ahead now, or do you have any query regarding the .NET CLI? Guys, can you confirm? Good to go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see how we can use a .NET CLI for creating our application. So just open your command prompt. I hope everyone has opened the command prompt as I have opened this way. Can you open the command prompt? After opening the command prompt, just run this command .NET space dash dash version. So we'll get here the which version of .NET you have installed in local machine. You will get it. I'm sure everyone will get here .NET 5 point something. You will get the version. In my case, I'm getting here .NET 6 because I have installed the Visual Studio 2022 as well in my local machine. So because of that, I'm having the .NET 6 also. But don't worry, we don't have much changes in the .NET 5 style and .NET 6 style when you're building the application. Are you getting the version of 5.0?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Now we having a next command .NET new dash L. Oh, there is a spelling mistake. Dash L. It will show to you what are the different templates are available. Are you getting the template list here like this way? After running this command .NET new dash L, this is the command you need to run. And after that, you start getting the templates here. This is the template name. This is the short name. This is the language support. And this is the tagging they're having over there. Are you getting the same templates when you're running the command? So now here, what you can do here using the .NET new command, it is only dash L, only one dash, not two. I can create a console application using console. There is a console application I can create. I can create here the WPF application using WPF only. I can create the WinForms using WinForms. I can create MVC. This is my MVC one using MVC here. I can create for Angular also. This is Angular. This is for React. We having over there. So these shortcut names are available to create the specific project using the .NET CLI. Shall we go ahead now? If you are able to find out this list of templates.
But it is giving error invalid input switch.
What error it is giving?
I'm just giving .NET new, .NET space new space single hyphen capital L.
Is small L. Everything is small here, not capital.
Now I got it.
What about others?
Sorry?
I'm not asking, I'm asking from others. Guys, make sure everyone is getting the same output. Can you confirm from your end? Imani, Jyoti. So good to go ahead to create our first .NET Core application. Okay. So let's create our first .NET Core application. So I'm just going to create I'm having a folder in my C drive with the name code. If you don't have, you can create a folder in the C drive in the code. Let me go inside the folder which I created for your company. This one. So CD and that folder I'm giving. So I'm in the same folder where we created the project. You can also go into the folder where now you're willing to create the application now. So make sure everyone in the folder in desired folder. Are you in the same folder? Now let's create here a console application .NET new, then console. What name of the console application you're willing to provide? I'm willing to provide here, let's say my app. I'm just running a command here .NET new. Console is the template name and name is my project name, my application name. So you need to just run this command this way. Same command I shared through the chat window as well, so that you can use from there.
Which language it is used? It is by default C#. Hello.
Yeah, by default it will use C#.
If we want to choose different language, then what is the command?
You have to mention the language explicitly.
Okay.
But you have to use only C# only now, because VB already Microsoft has announced they will not provide any new version of VB.NET. Do you know about this one? VB.NET now depreciated from the Microsoft.
Okay.
So guys, have you created the project now? If I will see inside my app folder, I can see these files. So what I did here, I just go inside the folder using this command. Then I run this command dir to look inside what various files I'm having. So these files we having inside this directory. We having the C# project file. This is C# project file. We having their obj folder. Then we having here program.cs file this way. So these files are code is containing simply.
So can you scroll up?
If you're looking for the web one, the command I'll share with you. This command. If you want to highlight all the commands, I can highlight them. This is the first command. This is the second command. This is the third command. Made it here. So guys, are you getting the same output? How many people are getting this output? What about others? Can you confirm? Okay, now let's build our application. I'm building my application here now. So this I can clear the screen using CLS. CLS is a command to clear the screen. So need to run here .NET build is a command to build the code. So it is building my code. So build succeeded, 0 warnings, 0 error. Are you getting the same? 0 warning, 0 error. Okay, now we can run it. So run the code now by running the command here. .NET run is a command. And you will get here hello world. So hello world as an output you're getting here because it is a console application. So that's why we're getting here hello world simply. So now what you can do here, what are the folder is going to create it? Do you have VS Code in your local machine? Like this one you are having with just Studio Code. Using this one only VS Code. So do you have VS Code? In my case, it is there, but I don't know why it's not showing in the search one. Do you have guys on your machine? When you will open it first time, it will look like this way. In this way. So do you have VS Code?
No.
Okay, not an issue. If you don't have it, don't worry, because we are not using in the program. I'm just showing you here, let's say how it can be used. If you're willing to use this one. So code, CSM, then myf. This way open it. So it's a very lightweight IDE we have. If you're not able to run the Visual Studio on your local machine because of RAM issue, because of system configuration issue, you can proceed with the VS Code And using this one also, we can build any type of application. So it's a very good idea. You can go ahead for building your .NET Core application simply.
Sir, can you please do it again?
Do you have this ID?
Yes, sir. Visual Studio
So
Code.
there is option here, file, open
File.
folder.
Yes. After that.
Then go to that folder location where you're having that folder.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Here it is showing the CSAP extension is recommended for this file type.
You can have.
Can we install?
You can install it. So guys, have you completed this one? So now what are the changes you will do here? Those will applicable over there also. Let's say console dot write line. I can type, let's say hello ASP.NET Core. This way. So how many people don't have the VS Code ID? Can you confirm? Okay, so many people don't have. Okay, not an issue because not a main ID for it. It's only for understanding purpose. And if you're having the access to the internet, you can also download it immediately. It will not take much time. You can go ahead here, code dot visualstudio.com. So from here it can be downloaded simply. So this is the link available from where we can download this VS Code. So have you downloaded it? So here in the VS Code, we having a terminal option, and instead of using a separate command prompt from the VS Code itself, I can build the thing. So I can build here, let's say .NET build is a command. It's building now. Then I can run here .NET run is a command for running the code. So you can see I'm getting here hello world. I'm getting here hello ASP.NET Core. So this way I'm getting the output here, what we have decided. Even you can open the this file in a notepad as well. Because the .NET Core is designed in such a way, any simple IDE, if you will use, using that IDE, you can build the code and you can start using. You don't need to use any the specialized IDE to get started with it.
But after executing, the first statement was showing, second statement hello ASP.NET Core was not showing.
Have you built the code properly? Have you saved it file? Because sometimes it happen, you might not save the file. Make sure file you have saved, Control S.
Okay, I have not saved. Yes.
So is it working fine now?
Yes, working fine. Yes.
So similar way from the command prompt, you can create a MVC application as well. If you're willing to create the MVC application, that can also be created simply using the same command over there.
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
So can you just give me a quick recap starting from that CMD part?
For the CMD part, you need to just first check for the .NET Core version number you have in local machine. Then we just run here command to find out what are the various templates are available while running this command.
Okay.
.NET new -l command I just run over there.
Yeah.
The templates are coming here now.
Yes, that's fine.
Then
Next.
we run the application here by running is .NET new MVC. Sorry, console is a template name. Then we define the application name. Let's say name my this command I run here.
Yes.
So what it will do, it will create a console application using the name my app. Then we come inside the my app folder, cd my app. Now we are in the my app folder. Then you need to run the command .NET build is a command over there need to run. So this way it is building the code.
Okay.
Now run the command .NET run. Then .NET run is a command.
Okay.
So anything else?
Here I am facing some issue in VS Code. Can I share my screen?
Hmm.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Here the terminal, new terminal. This is my application.
It is giving the error missing semicolon. Have you put the semicolon? Can you open program.cs file? In the line number
sorry.
10.
Yes, I got it.
You didn't save the file. Save it first. Control S.
Yes, thank you.
So what about this? Is it working fine now? Meenakshi Patel.
I have installed VS Code
Hmm.
and saved the project, but that console right line, I'm just getting one line only for hello world. Next one, I'm not.
Until you will not save the file, you will not get the output.
Yes, I heard that for someone else, but and I saved the project. Still, it is coming like
Can you
this.
share your screen? It's not about project saving, it's about file saving.
Okay, just sharing. Is it visible?
Where you write the line? Hello ASP.NET.
I have to add here. Just
But
coming.
so open the terminal here. Terminal you can open directly using the VS Code. .NET build is a command, not the build. Guys, make sure you are writing these commands. I think you are not making notes of these commands. How many people are making the notes of these commands?
Yes, I'm doing. .NET build. Spring error.
Spelling mistake is there, check it. Yamanakshi, what query you have? Do you have an issue?
I created MVC application in Visual Studio Code using the CLI, and now I am running it using the same command .NET Run. So it gives me a link like localhost and some IP, some port address. So I need to click on that, or it will automatically open in browser.
It automatically will not open. You need to just press Control key and click. So I think you created the MVC project, not this console one.
Yeah, console also I completed. After that, I created the MVC.
Okay.
So there is no doubt in it.
So guys, shall we go ahead now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
The similar way, if you're willing to create the MVC project, I hope everyone has installed the VS Code. I'm right. It's a very small software. So if you're willing to do it here, I can create my MVC application as well. .NET new MVC. The name equal to MVC app. This is the way I'm creating it. So just in place of console, do mention MVC. And for your MVC, it will create the project with the name MVC app. Make sure you came out from your console application by running the command cd ... So please first come out from your current directory, then run this command to create the project.
I have another question. Suppose I have an solution in MVC application, and I want to add a library file. So command. So how we can do it?
Same command into run here .NET new. Then make sure you're outside that folder. For library, we having the live command. So now you can go inside your MVC app. Then same way .NET build is a command. And then .NET run. So by default, it use the port number 5000, 5001 for running our web application. So this port we can access here now. So we can access here local host 5000 port number. This way it's running fine. So are you able to run your ASP.NET Core application as well like this way?
This 5001 is the default.
This is the default port number.
Okay.
Even the same port you can check out. It is mentioned in your application setting. If you will open this folder, let's say I'm opening the folder here as MVC app. In MVC app, you will find out there's a properties and we having here launch settings.json. In the launch setting.json, you will find out these port number are mentioned 5000, 5001. And this is going to be used by the .NET CLI. This is a .NET CLI setup. They're using for 5000, 5001.
Can you change the port number?
Or you can change if you're willing to change the port number.
when we build the application, there is two port for HTTPS port. There is 5001. For normal, it is 5000. But in launch setting or JSON, there is another for IS Express.
So right now I'm not using here IS Express for running my application because I'm running it using the .NET CLI. When the same project you will open in Visual Studio, so Visual Studio use IS Express. So that time this port would be used. So the port which you are looking at here, they are going to be used by the different one. So when you will use the Visual Studio, so IS setting will use here. This would be the port number. If you will use the Visual Studio, if you will use CLI, this is the port number it's going to be used. So this is for CLI. If you will use, this is for Visual Studio. If you will use the Visual Studio, got it? Even the same solution you can open here in your Visual Studio as well without an issue. Let me open the same project in my Visual Studio. It will open it. So in my case, it is opening the same in my Visual Studio. And now here I can change from MVC up to IS Express, this one. If you will use here the IS Express, it will use the same port number which we have defined here. So this is a port number for HTTP and this is a port number for HTTPS. So if you will run it, you will get it HTTPS. So make sure you stopped it, what you are running using the .NET CLI, otherwise it will give the error. So older application I stop if you're willing to run it from Visual Studio. So now you can see now the port number has been changed from 5001 to the 44332. So this 44332 is coming because of this setting we having here at over here. If you will change the port number here, that port also will change over there simply. So do you have any query regarding this one? So guys, shall we go ahead now? If you have completed. Ananda, Ashok, Imani. Okay, so this is the things we just talk about the .NET CLI. So this is again a very important tool if you're willing to use a lightweight IDE VS Code in place of Visual Studio. So that time definitely it will help you. And now guys, here when you will open the widgets tool, let me show you here what various options are available here for creating the project, or you can say what templates are there. So when you will click on the new project, and if you're looking for here ASP.NET, ASP.NET. So we'll see here we having the various templates available. So all these templates you will get it only if you're using the Visual Studio 2020, 2019 latest release. So you can see here we having the template here for ASP.NET Core Web App, which I can use to create my web application using the Razor pages. Then we having a next template ASP.NET Core Empty. So this template does not contain any content. It is an empty one. If you're willing to add the MVC support, so need to add here the models folder separately, controls folder separately, and others folder separately. And if you're willing to write the code in the similar fashion as we write in the web form, then we use here this Razor page. There's a Razor page content we use over there. Then we having here for MVC. So we commonly use the MVC template whenever we are going to create the ASP.NET Core MVC application. So to use the ASP.NET Core MVC application, we will use this template. If you're willing to create an API, so for creating the API, this is a template is available, ASP.NET Core Web API. So mainly we use this template, this MVC one, and this API one. These are the two templates we use commonly when we are working with ASP.NET Core. If you're willing to create here the Angular application with ASP.NET Core, you can go ahead with this template. So we having here ASP.NET Core with Angular. So it is a project template which they created as per the Angular CLI project template, where it will use Angular as a front end and ASP.NET Core as a backend. So ASP.NET Core it will use as a backend as a web API, and Angular it will use as a front end. Similarly, we having a template for React.js application. If you're willing to use the React.js as a front end and ASP.NET Core as a backend. So these two templates are actually for building a full stack .NET application, because it is combining the front end Angular, backend ASP.NET Core, and database you can decide whatever you are using. Similar way in the React.js as well, we having the full stack application using ASP.NET Core and React. So there we can use React.js as a front end, ASP.NET Core Web API as a backend, and for database you can use SQL Server over there. So do you have any query regarding these templates available in Visual Studio for creating your different types of ASP.NET Core application?
Sir, I just want to know what is the basic difference that Razor page and MVC, ASP.NET Core
A
page
Razor
and
pages style you will find out as we having the style in case of web form. In web
Okay.
form, we having the ASPX file and we having the code behind file.
Yes.
Got it? Same you will find out in the Razor pages. If you like that web form style and you want to use in the ASP.NET Core as well, there you can go ahead with Razor pages.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. So make sure whenever you are looking for a template here, when you believe the Visual Studio latest release, all templates are available here. If you're having the older version of Visual Studio, so you will not get these templates here. You will get these templates later on. So later on, you will get these templates, not here. But we are using here Visual Studio latest release, and here we can search for language C#, then Windows and all project type. Even you can search here for web as well. If you're looking for only web-based project. So these web-based projects are available here simply. So guys, make sure you have opened this project. Now let's create here a ASP.NET Core MVC application. Have you opened the Visual Studio?
We'll create new one in or in same solution.
New project you're creating here. So have you completed this one? Are you on the same screen? Can you confirm? So now let's create here our ASP.NET Core MVC project. I'm selecting this template, click on the next button here. Same way, define your project name. I'm defining my project name. Let's say ASP.NET App MVC. So I'm defining my project name here, ASP.NET MVC app. You can put over there, ASP.NET MVC app I'm using here. So make sure you're going to create a project with the name ASP.NET MVC app. I'm selecting here simple .NET 5 and don't do any change here. Let's proceed further. So now we created the project.
1 minute. This what is that authentication type?
Nothing, just use as it is.
No, that's okay. But what is the individual account? What is Microsoft identity and what is window?
If you're willing to include the authentication with Azure AD, Windows authentication, that time it is required.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So shall we go ahead now? Have we created this one?
What is the authentication mode?
I have not mentioned any authentication mode. Just go ahead, default one.
Keep the
None.
Okay.
So shall we go ahead now if you have completed this? Okay, so when it is coming to this Visual Studio, the project one, you will find out here we having there so many folders which are going to be created over there. So if you're looking at here, we having the here a properties folder. And if you will see in the properties folder, we having a launch settings dot JSON file. And this file is containing the information about when you will start your project, or you can say when you will launch your application using the Visual Studio, using the .NET CLI. So that launch setting it is containing. So if you're looking at here, we are using here IS Express and my Visual Studio label. So when you will use the IS Express, which setting, like which launch setting it will use? So it will use here, this is the port number for HTTP. This is a port number for HTTPS. So this is the IS Express setting for the application is going to be used. So by default, it generate a random port number on your machine, but this port number can be changed. Okay, so if you're willing to change this port number you can change over there. Even from here, you can find out how you're going to run this application, IS Express, ASP.NET MVC app. Okay, so two options are coming over there, this IS Express and ASP.NET MVC app. So this IS Express is same, this is a setting. Then if you will select this one, ASP.NET MVC app, so to start using this setting, this is the setting is going to be used when you will select the ASP.NET MVC app. So this ASP.NET MVC app is a style of .NET CLI. So using the .NET CLI, when you run the command .NET run, so that time it will use the port number 5001 for HTTPS and 5000 for HTTP. And apart from the running application URL, we having here environment variable as well. Because sometime it happens, we need to define the environment specific setting. So here we having the environment variable for ASP.NET Core environment is delimit. ASP.NET Core environment is delimit. So for environment, if you explicitly going to define what is my application environment, so here it is going to be decided. If I will change this value as production, this value as testing, so environment will become the testing or production. And if you will look at here, the environment variable setting is available at IS Express level and it is available at the command level. So both having the different environment variable setting. Even the same thing you will find out in your project properties as well. When you're looking at the project properties, here we having the build, not build, this one, debug. You will find out what is the environment variable we have. You can find out it is containing a same variable value, ASP.NET Core environment. It is coming here, delimit. So from the same place it is coming, launch settings.json is a file from where this value is going to capture here.
Suppose we are going to host the application in a Linux environment, then what changes we have to do in plan setting?
Sir, it's not about the Linux environment. It's about what the environment you are creating for the project. How we create the environment, we create the dev environment, we create the testing environment, we create the staging, we create the production.
Yes.
This is about those environment specific setting. So for production, obviously you will have the production database connection string. For testing, you will have the testing database connection string, isn't it?
No, it is written as IS Express. As it is running in IS, that's why I guess IS Express is written.
The thing is, when you will use here IS Express for running the application,
okay.
So we are telling to IS Express, this is my development environment. Got it?
Okay.
So here we having the environment specific file. You can see this is an app setting.json. There is an app setting.development.json.
Yes.
So it will going to use the setting as per this JSON file. So this app setting.json is for production one. This is for development one. Similarly, we can add here app settings.staging.json, app settings.testing.json. So each environment will have separate app setting because we having the environment specific database connection string. We will have the environment specific API address. We will have the environment specific other things. So we going to add those files over there.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
So those setting we define here, let's say when you will launch the application, so from which app setting file, it will read the setting. So it will read the setting from this file. And this file is nothing. This file is going to override all the settings which we have defined. So what is the setting you're defining at this app setting.json? If some setting you are willing to override, let's say connection string I define in app setting.json, and I want to override that connection string. So I can again define the same thing in the dap.json file as well. Got it? It will be more clear when I will cover the entity framework core part. There I can show you how I can change the connection string here. You will start understanding how to changing it.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to see right now, I can show the things over here. So there is a place where I can read the value. Let's say read db connection string. So it is my configuration. Then we having here get connection string and connection string name. Let's say db connection. So this connection string I'm defining here. Let's say. So I'm defining here connection string. Connection strings. This one. Then what is the connection string name? It is db connection. I'm defining here. Then here I can define my connection string. I'm just adding it for testing purpose. Okay. So that you will check out. This is my connection. So I'm putting here a breakpoint so that you will figure out what it is coming. So run the code. So by default, I have not defined the setting in dev environment. I define only app setting.json. So what will happen? It will read the setting from app setting.json. What it is coming? My connection. Got it?
Yes.
Now let's say this setting you want to override based upon the environment. So I'm just adding here this one. So I'm just defining here dev connection. So now I'm just going
So
to
offsetting dot development JSON, it will be created by default or we
it is
will
created by
explicitly create
default.
it?
By default. Now it will change it because my environment is development. Now if you will check out here, I'm getting here dev connection. Got it?
Yes.
Because my environment here is development. If I will change to production, it will not use the dev one, it will use the production one. I'm getting here. Okay, I think it's not updated there. I'm using the MVC app. Okay, I need to use IS Express. So it is now F10. You can see I'm getting here my connection. Is it clear now how the setting is working?
App setting is called, or app setting dot development is called?
It is called now app settings. By default is production, that is app setting.
Okay. Yes, yes.
If you want to specify, that is dev. Similarly, you can add the testing as well if you're willing to define. Copy and paste. So it's up to you how many environment you're willing to create. Based upon that, it's going to work. It would be here testing this way. Now testing specific thing you can define here, testing specific one. Is it clear now?
Yes, yes.
So do you have any other query, or shall we go ahead? Anyone else? Okay, the next thing we having here ww root. So in ww root, it is a special folder in ASP.NET Core, which is whitelist. So what happens in ASP.NET Core? From any folder, you cannot access the static content because others folders are blacklisted. So these are the blacklisted things. Only this folder is whitelisted. Means this is the only place which you can access without any authentication. It's a whitelist folder to serve the static content. So what are the static content? So the static content, we having here CSS file, we having here JavaScript library, like Bootstrap we have here, jQuery we have. Similarly, I can add here the another folder for adding my images. So I'm adding here a folder for images. And here I can keep my images also. So any static content which does not need any authentication, any security, we need to keep over here. So commonly whatever the images, icons, style sheet, or JavaScript file, or jQuery library, Bootstrap library, we always keep inside this ww root folder. Got it? Then we having here next folder is about controllers. So in the controllers, we define all the controllers in our application. And controller is here responsible for handling the presentation logic. Do you know about the presentation logic, business logic, data access logic? Are you aware of?
Yes.
So what are the project we created here? This project is actually a presentation layer project. It's not for data access layer, is not for business layer, because this is the UI part. So here, what are the UI we will display to the end user? That UI we will display here using the views. So these are the various views are available. So these views are going to be displayed to the end user. So whenever you are running the application, you will notice I'm getting here the home page. So now let me proceed further. So from where this home page is coming, you might be thinking from where it is coming. So here actually what is happening, this is my page is divided into three sections. This is the header. This is the container we having here. Sorry. This section we having the header. This section we having here container. The second section. And this section we having the footer. So we having a layout. At the layout page we have defined this header we define in the layout. This footer we define the layout. And this container part is going to be changed based upon the requested URL. If let's say if I'm changing the requested URL from home to privacy, the privacy has been changed. So this section is dynamic. If you're looking for which section is dynamic, so this section is dynamic, which is going to be decided based upon the requested URL. If it is home privacy, this is going to come. If it is, let's say, contact us, it will be home/contact us. So this is a dynamic section. This is the static one. This is also the static one. So these, the top one like header and the footer will be same always, but this container part will changing based upon the requested URL. So from where it is coming here from this index page. If you're looking at the index page, we having the same thing. Welcome and learn about building web apps with ASP.NET Core. But this is only containing the container part. Okay, it is not containing the header and footer. So from where header and footer is coming? So header and footer is coming from the master view. So we having a master view. This is my master view, that is underscore layout. So this master view is containing three sections. It is containing the header. It is containing the container. It is containing the footer. Same thing which I explained to you. This is my header here. This is my container. And this is my footer. This is my footer over there. So here we having this at the rate render body method. And on a master view, you can have only one render body method. Remember it always. You cannot have more than one render body method. It is not possible. If you will try to it, you will get the error. And this render body method is responsible to render the content of the page. So from where content is coming? So content is coming from this one. Whenever you're requesting the home page, whenever you request the privacy page, the content is coming from this privacy page. So this render body method is responsible to render the content of this index, to render the content of this privacy. Is it clear how the things are coming here? Shall we go ahead? Do you have any query regarding this one? Okay.
Suppose if we don't want to add layout in a page, then what to do?
Not an issue. That can also be done. In that
But in
case, let
index
me just mention here layout equal to null. This way. Now it will not run inside the layout. It will run as it is.
By default, the layout JSON file will be load. If
By
you
default,
not declare the layout equal to null, then by default the layout page will call.
Yeah. So what is happening here? There is a one file here named as underscore view start. This file actually going to set up the default layout for my application. If I will comment this line, then it will not render the default layout for my application.
In which section it was mentioned that the view start the CSHM file will be start?
This is mentioned inside the ASP.NET Core framework.
Okay.
So when it is coming the ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET framework having its default folder structure, its default files name. Got it? So automatically it pick up those default folders, it pick up those default files to look for the common setting, or you can say to look for the application level setting. So this file, these two files actually define inside the ASP.NET Core View Engine to define the setting for your view folder. So it always, if the file name is here underscore view start, file name should match it exactly same. It look for the layout. If I will change the file name, it will not, it would be useless in that case.
Then what is view important.c system is?
View import is about to import the namespaces you are willing to use on the view pages. So you can see I'm importing here the namespace ASP.NET MVC app, ASP.NET MVC app models. So which is a part of this models folder. So when you will add any namespace here, so that namespace classes, that namespace members, we can access on each view file inside this view folder. This is the view folder over there.
Yes.
Okay. So inside this view folder, we having these view files. We having this view file. So what are the namespaces we added? We added these namespaces. These namespaces classes we can access directly now. Otherwise, we need to add these namespaces here when you will access the file on index.cshtml. Got it?
Yes.
So this underscore view import is acting as a base view. Got it? As we add the things at the base view label, by default, these are inherited to the child view. So this is just like a base class, or you can say base view. Is it clear?
Is it mandatory that all projects have view inputs and view start views?
It is not mandatory. If you don't want to add, you can remove it, but they actually for helping you. Got it?
Okay.
Because we at least need one layout so that we can show the header, we can show the footer. It is a designing way for building any website.
Yes.
But if you don't want to use them, you can leave, you can remove them. There is no issue.
If
But
you
they
want
are,
to use full layout page, then
in that case, you need to define which layout you're willing to render. So layout you can decide from here also. Here I can add a condition. If my controller name is home, then use this layout. If my controller name is, let's say this one, use this layout. The setting can also be right over there. This is just like we are setting the layout page dynamically based upon the controller name. Got it?
yes.
So here that code can be right here, where CTRL, and I can use here view data. So it's not a view data, it's a root data. I will tell you when I will create your.
We can directly assign in the CSHTML.
That is also possible, and that case also possible here. So we having a root here. Root data values. What you're looking for, I'm looking for here controller. Now I can write a condition here. If controller equal to home, then use this layout. Got it? Let me convert into the toString as well. Else, don't do anything. It will not render any layout. Got it? So this is the way that dynamically we can figure out what controller you are requesting in the current request. But for that, I need to add here a one more controller for testing it out. I can add here a controller. I'm adding here a controller with the name, let's say account. I'm adding here account controller this way. And for account controller, I'm adding a view here index. razor view index. If you want to test out, you can test it out here. So when you will access the account controller, that time it will render without the layout. Let me change this setting also, because they are explicitly defined. So you having here multiple option to set the layout dynamically. This is my home page, my privacy. So home and privacy are coming from the home control itself. But if something is coming from the account, it is coming null. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this is the way here we can write a condition. How to set the layout. But if you don't like this way, you can set the layout here also. I can mention layout setting here. It can be null. It can be empty. So it will override only for this view, but this will override for all the controller action. Try this one at your end, then do let me know.
Also in the index.cshtml page, can I mention the layout name also?
There also can
Like
mention
layout equal to layout name.
Please try this sample how the layout you can change dynamically based upon the controller name. Even tomorrow also I will show you the same thing when we will do the hands-on. How the view and controller are connected to each other. And whenever it's required to change, you'll be able to change them. Have you added the account controller? This code I can share with you if you are having the issue. So code I shared through the chat window, you can copy and use it on the underscore view start. But make sure account controller you have added yourself, and in the account controller index action, you have added the view also. And guys, please do confirm when you will completed it at your end.
Yeah, error alert has come. There is no staff folder support for this item. Why?
Which one?
Can I share? Why this alert?
Can you build the code first? Build the code first.
Same error.
It's not the same, right? Say target
ये
for
framework error.
Until you will not fix this one, you will not able to do it. So you having a Visual Studio installation issue at your end. Somehow your .NET framework, .NET 5 is not installed properly. So please update your Visual Studio, and I'm requesting to everyone, please everyone update your Visual Studio to latest release, so that when we do the hands-on tomorrow, you will have exactly same option as I'm getting. Otherwise, you will have the different option, I will have the different option. Got it? What about others? Raghavendra, Ashok, Martinjoy. Guys, can you
Hello.
confirm from your end? Tell me.
Hello, can you tell again the controller part?
At controller part, I have not done anything. I just having a index section, which is automatically created. Then I just did right click here and added a view. That's it. So when you will click on the add view, you will have this option, razor view. Just select this razor view. Click on the add button. So it will ask for the view name as index. So I have to give the same view name as index. Then, okay, that's it.
Please share again. We could not see your screen.
The screen is not sharing.
Is it fine now? You have to just do right click here at the index section,
Yes.
then you will be having the option add view. This way. In the add view, you will get this option, razor view. Got it?
Yes.
And guys, make sure you are taking the notes. Are you taking the notes properly? What about others? Have you completed this one? Shubhra,
It is giving me build error.
so check what is the build error. Have you checked? Look at the build error.
It is saying ki could not copy. The process cannot access the file .exe that is being used by another process.
So make sure you are not running the same project using the .NET CLI. Have you stopped the command from window?
Yes, I have.
And make sure you have stopped the Visual Studio as well. Martinjay, Raghavendra.
Yeah, Shailendra, you have created the accounts controller, right?
Account controller first I added.
Okay,
Then for the account controller index section, I added the view index.
okay. Controller, add controller, then
Do you want to repeat the same step again? I can repeat it. There is no issue.
yeah, please.
It's simple. Hey, just do right click.
Mm-hmm.
Then we having here add controller.
Right.
Then I'm selecting here MVC controller empty.
Okay.
Now click on the add button.
Yes.
Here also I'm selecting MVC controller empty. Now define your controller name as account. Guys, the people who are lacking, please follow to me now. What I am doing here, I just do right click on my controllers folder, then add controller. Proceed with controller empty template. Then define your controller name here. Account controller.
Okay.
Now click on that button. It's added here account controller with index section by default.
Yes.
Now just do right click here on the index section. Then there is option add view.
Okay.
Mandeshwari, have you created it? Add view.
Yes.
Then razor view.
Then we have here razor view. Second one.
Okay.
Prakash, can you confirm? Preeti? Then we having here at, and by default is suggesting the view name as index. So we having the view name as index. And this is the template here empty. Don't change anything here. Just click on that button. Guys, can you confirm from your end? Because I can see only few people have confirmed so far.
It is installing NuGet package.
Saurabh, Suminder, Santosh. Okay, Santosh done. Ritika, Raghavendra.
My build error is not going. That is the problem.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Guys, make sure you are able to build the project. Tapan, make sure your Visual Studio is working fine. I think you are having the issue, right?
I will update the Visual Studio.
So everyone need to update the Visual Studio. If something is missing, that would be installed properly without an issue. Can you share your screen?
Just a second.
So it's this account controller create a view inside view, one account folder created, right? That's where index.html there.
Right.
Okay, that is done.
It is saying the application is logged. Can you show me in the tray? In the right hand side, there is a tray icon in your taskbar. Make sure it is not running. Because I think it is not here in the taskbar. The taskbar, there is an arrow icon, arrow. This one here. Make sure it's not running anywhere. Can you restart your Visual Studio? Close it and restart it again.
Sorry.
So guys, which ID you are using right now for current element? 2019 or 17 or 15?
2019.
And what you are using, web form or MVC? I think you are using web form only, am I right?
Both.
So are you using ASP.NET web form WPF or something else?
No, web form.
Okay, web form you are using. So now you're planning to use .NET Core in your new project, am I right?
Yes.
Or you're planning to migrate existing application to .NET Core?
Yes, we are planning for migration.
Some cases migration, some cases new development.
Guys, please do confirm if you have completed from your end. And guys, make sure everyone is able to build the project. If you're not able to build, please fix your Visual Studio installation properly. I think few people having the issue with Visual Studio installation. Have you opened the Visual Studio in admin mode?
Yes, yes.
I will stop the share and I will run it again.
Figure out what the issue is there. It's a installation issue, nothing else. So I hope everyone has completed this sample code as well. Okay, thank you. So guys, here I hope you have note down everything. Have you note down the things? So tomorrow, what we will do here, we will start with an activity. Daily, we will start with an activity, journey around learning. So you have to share your learning with your colleague. Whatever the notes you made today, I will see tomorrow. If you didn't make, I'm giving you the time. So this is the activity we will start. You have to speak out what are the learning you have done today. Then we will proceed to the regular session, what we have. I will give you one more session over the tomorrow about time management. Okay, I will tell you tomorrow about time management as well. So today's session I'm wrapping here. If you have any query regarding today's class, please do ask. So do you have any query?